This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Atlantic Irrigation.
You know, it's common to find puddles in your yard after hard rain, but if those puddles seem to remain after a couple of days, well, you might have a drainage problem.
Yeah, and apparently with the landscape of Delmarva, that's really not all that uncommon. And while it may not seem like a big problem, it can become one. Delmarva Life's Sean Stryker stopped by Atlantic Irrigation to find out a few ways that you can address your drainage issues.
It's no secret severe storms frequently visit Delmarva, oftentimes leaving more water than the ground can handle.
Well, when it rains, you've got to give the storm water, the runoff from a roof line, somewhere to go.
But with Delmarva being so flat, Dale Carey with Atlantic Irrigation says that's easier said than done, and all that water can cause problems.
If it's not addressed, the standing water actually can compact the soil, and thus the area that has the water issue becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and keeps growing. The other thing, it invites diseases to the lawn and to the plants in the area. And then it's a maintenance issue. If you mow that soft area, the mowers can chew up the sod, and it just becomes an ongoing problem.
The water that runs off your roof and into your gutters can also cause a headache.
Generally, if the homeowner's got downspouts, they make the turn and they don't, the water just exits the downspouts and just spills out into, most of the times, in a landscape bed. But in some situations, that water actually comes right back to the foundation and can actually creep back into the foundation, into the crawl space.
Which Dale says can invite mold, fungus, and insects into your house. So what can you do to prevent that from happening?
We go in, the contractor, we can actually go into the property, look at the issues, and if the grade is not there, we actually usually take and correct the downspouts, get them redirected, piped off, and have them piped away and exit somewhere else on the property.
So after you come in and you take care of the downspouts, where does the water go after it goes down into that PVC pipe?
Okay. Once we've captured the water at the downspout, the pipe, it'll go into the pipe, and depending on length, there could be 10 feet, there could be 50 feet of pipe. At the end of that pipe generally is a pop-up, and it is a spring-activated pop-up, so the force of the water, both moving from rainwater and the elevation coming off the roof, forces this unit to pop up, the water exits, and then when it slows down, the spring will bring it back down. If there's any remaining water in there, then the pea gravel that should be installed underneath this will drain that and prevent any issues in the freeze.
Dale says you have to be careful as to where that downspout is directing the water.
Some communities now on the shore and in Maryland, you're not allowed to dump your stormwater onto the neighbor's property. They ask you to exit it north or south. So we have to address those issues.
All right, so the downspouts take care of the water that land on the house. What about the water that lands in the yard and just doesn't seem to want to go away?
Okay, we got to give it somewhere to go, but we have no grade to work with and we have no piping to work with. So we take an area that the water's wanting to stand, we get a measurement, kind of get a feel how many gallons we're talking about, and then we capture it with a catch basin, an in-ground catch basin. And underground, where it's totally not seen, is several other pieces of equipment that we use, products that we use that act as sponges to give that water somewhere to go rather than standing on the soil and creating the damage.
Also creating a health concern.
Standing water, we're hearing a lot about West Nile. You get standing water in a yard more than 48 hours, you introduce yourself to mosquito breeding, and with that comes the disease that could be related to that. So that's outside. Once that water, if that water is not contained and comes back through the foundation, now you've got issues in the house or under the house where you'll see mold and mildew and fungus growing on crawl space walls.
Now, it's important to know that rain is not the only thing that can cause standing water in your yard. Dale says water from air conditioner condensate drains, sump pumps, and even the backwash of a water conditioner can also collect in your yard. And a lot of those solutions that he just mentioned can take care of that problem.
Very interesting.
Right?
I like that contraption. Well, it sounds like a great plan to end worry when it comes to your yard, but there's plenty more to stress about. Still ahead on Delmarva Life. Up next, we'll hear the top causes of work stress. See if you can relate.
Plus, how you can leave those stresses behind once you get home. We're going to show you a few ways to wind down from work.
And here's a great way to relieve stress. Jump!
Yeah!
Find out why an entire afternoon here is fun for the entire family. Delmarva Life. We'll be right back.